Everybody, we are back. It is Tipped Online's favorite Raiders podcast, favorite Raiders channel, favorite Raiders everything. We are back. You guys already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. Hit the like button if you hit the like button if you like it. Hit the like button if you don't like it. Leave a comment if you like it. Leave a comment if you don't like it. Also follow us on Twitter at the Mark John NFL for me, at mholder95 for Matt, and of course, pandasubs.com. 25% off for all your great protein and food and stuff to make you feel good needs. Let's say that. Stuff to make you feel good, guys. All right, so we're here. We're going to talk our basically our big board. It's basically our rankings. I feel like these are a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah. You say our big board, or I guess it's the same thing.
Yeah, kind of like a Raiders big board, but it's our big board though. You know what I mean? It's not like we're not like trying to like who the Raiders like type of shit. You know what I mean? We're just putting it out there so you can argue directly with me and Matt. This is gonna be a chance you guys could yell at us and be like, "Oh my god, what? Why is he there?" You know what I mean? So just be ready for that type of stuff there. How you feeling, Matt?
I'm here
feel about the draft. So
I'm in hurry up and wait mode. It's like I'm excited to have it. I think we're gonna be in for a wild night on Thursday. I feel like the fact that there's so much in the air that we don't know so much and we've heard so little means we're in for like a crazy night. And also excited a little bit to get my life back a little bit. So been a grind for the last few months, but always a bittersweet moment with the draft.
Yeah, and everything just slows down.
It finally gets here. Yeah, it finally gets here, and then we can take a breath. We have a few months for summer, and we get to calm down a little bit because it is sprinting a marathon from basically once the calendar turns in January.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like it basically, like what happens is, I mean, we kind of just slow down after that. We look at the draft picks and then see what's gonna happen. Think of some content and you keep it going. Of course the shows will keep going, but like, man, definitely won't be as much work. You know what I mean? Like trying to watch all these prospects and grading them and trying to decide which one is better than the other. Like would I take this guy over that one though, even though I might think he's a little better? Like, you know what I mean? Like that's what it was for me. Like, especially with running back and stuff like that.
Yeah, once the draft's over, like it becomes less analytical and more like a book report, right? Like, like I'm not trying to figure out like who is this guy's trait better than that guy's trait or anything like that. I'm just saying like, hey, this is what this guy can do. This is what he can't do or whatever. You know what I mean? It's a lot easier to watch film and talk about, I think, than putting through all the stress of the last 3 months and figuring out who's going to be the next Hall of Famer out of this draft class, who's the best edge rusher.
Yeah, then just completely miss. You know what I mean? Like you got to be ready to just be totally off. Like that guy just sucked. That you're like, man, I really like this guy. It's great film, and he's not good. So that's part of the draft too, man.
Is that extra quarter inch on Will Campbell's arms? Is that going to make that much? How much of a difference is that going to make?
I mean, and then we'll find out 2 years. You know what I mean? Like 3 years. Like, hey, it's short arms is a problem. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna be that type of thing. So I really do. I'm excited for this because I did watch a lot of players. I realized when I was doing this rankings, like, God damn, I did watch a lot of players.
Yeah. I think let's see what my final total was at. I mean, it also like it's frustrating too because I start in the summer. So I also get a lot of guys that end up going back to school. But 121 this year, which not bad. But again, especially considering having a kid right in the middle of the season, that slowed me down a little bit. Didn't change a thing, but exactly. For sure. 121. My eyes started bleeding by the end of it. You watch enough 7th round undrafted free agent, or I should say projected 7th round projected undrafted free agents for the last like month or so, and your eyes start to get real tired, and start to bleed a little bit.
Yeah, I feel you, man. It gets crazy, bro. Like it does. All right, guys. So we're gonna be doing our big board today. Just kind of look doing our rankings and answer whatever questions you guys have in here. So just throw out those questions. I'll be starring them. Like it's just like Friday Night Live. So you do Friday Night Live. I'll be in here starring those questions and looking at all that stuff. Yeah, guys. You said you got to stop the mic sounds, Matt. So let's see.
Say what?
The mic sounds, I guess. The like it's
the mic sounds.
Like it sounds like it's moving.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah,
I'll stop playing with it.
Stop touching the mic. That's what I can tell you. That. All right. So like I said, there's not questions. So I guess we kind of get into it. I mean, is there any news? Anything happen? Anything interesting that we talk about?
Not much. I mean, just kind of the smoke screen. I think going on. Someone texted me that Albert Breer is tweeting that the Raiders are going to take Banks at six.
Yeah,
Wild. I mean,
you said that.
Albert Breer.
Really?
Yeah, apparently. I don't know. I didn't see that. Someone sent that to me, and I'm like, that would be an interesting one. Yeah, Albert Breer says he thinks it's Kelvin Banks to the Raiders at 6.
Calvin Banks.
Someone else following Albert Breer?
I don't know. That's. I mean, I think that more points at them drafting a lineman.
Yeah,
they're really looking at offensive lineman. That's what it really points at. I mean, it's kind of like the more they're going to draft a tackle, because Kelvin Banks, man, that would be. I mean,
at 6 would be wild. But and I think too, like kind of what you're talking about, like there was the news today, like that the Jags are not likely, or Schefter said that the Jags are not likely to take Mason Graham, which could be huge for the Raiders if he ends up sliding to 6, which everyone is immediately jumping to them taking Genty because that seems to have picked up steam. So Genty, for all the talk, if he's worth the 6th overall pick, might not even be there.
Yeah. I mean, he might, because that's what I was talking about last week on Friday Night Live, that he might go to the Jags, because I think the Jags it decides how kind of like how this draft's going to go. Because I mean, they take Mason Graham, then what do the Raiders do? Right? The Raiders take Calvin Banks, which I mean, wow. I mean, that'd be interesting. I mean, he's not. I don't know. That's a crazy take, but I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, the Raiders could do anything at that point. They could take Mason Graham, right? I mean, maybe Breer's assuming Mason Graham's not there, or is he assuming that?
I don't know.
That'd be crazy. That'd be a little bit wild. Just Sean G here said the Sark connection is probably a little bit with that, but I don't know. Like, but then that makes me think of the Quinn Ewers thing, and I don't know how much I believe that or want to. So
they just drafted they drafted all the Texas players.
Yeah, I mean,
they're going to get Isaiah Bond for a steal with that all the stuff he's got going on off the field. Isaiah Bond, Quinn Ewers, and Kelvin Banks.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna draft Texas guys, let's go ahead. My bad.
Take Alfred Collins and Brandon Broughton too to improve the trenches. Jahdae Barron, give them all.
All
Texas guys.
Because I still think that's a sneaky pick at 6, just because I saw Adam Schefter say that the Jets are going to take him at 7, and that tells me that the NFL sees him as a top 10 player. In my opinion, like, if the Jets are willing to take him at 7, like, it's even a thought process. That's like something that somebody would report. That means he is an option at 6, and I think this might be a sneaky guy too. When we get into that, but like, man, that's Kelvin Banks. Because I'm just thinking, like, over Josh Simmons. Like, do you think is that a thing? I
mean, the last thing I heard was reading or was seeing about Kelvin Banks is that most people think he's a guard. So, like, if you're going to take that guy, why not take Will Campbell? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, if you're going to take the college tackle that might be a guard, like, I feel like Will Campbell would be a guy. But, again, a lot of smoke out there. I don't know. We'll find. We'll get an end of the rumors in what about a little bit less than 48 hours.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, if you take him at tackle, because you're right. Now I think about it, like, yeah, that does make sense for him playing guard, because like, he's a brawler, run blocker. He doesn't have like, you're not really that athletic with his feet or anything like that. He doesn't have like quick feet to play left tackle in the NFL like that. So that makes sense to me. But like, just to like I mean, you're gonna draft him and play guard at. I mean, hey, I'm jumping too early here, and I shouldn't do that right now, because that is pretty crazy in my opinion.
I like that I just threw your mind for a blender right there. Like, I just got you completely off guard.
Like, I was like, what?
In 10 minutes you're gonna be like, wait, so Kelvin Banks at 6? Like, it's just gonna be still in your mind.
I'm gonna talk about tackles, and it's gonna just pop right back. I'm gonna be like, yo, Kelvin Banks at 6. I'm like, hey. I mean, it might be a good pick, because I mean, this lineman, first round lineman, like, it might feel bad at the time, but he might end up being good, just because he is a good player. Like, I'm not like gonna trip about that too much. It just 6 is just a little crazy, but that's fine. All right, but yeah, let's get into this, man. So what position should we start with first here? Should we just do a little quarterback?
Start at the top with quarterback. Might as well.
All right.
Get
All
into it.
All right. People are getting mad at me about this. I already know, but when I wrote this, but it's fine. So, quarterback. Yeah. So I went Cam Ward, of course. Sanders 2. This is what it gets controversial. I went Jalen Moreau 3. I like Jalen Moreau. Just over like these other guys. I just think like if I'm gonna bet on somebody, if I'm gonna bet on any of these guys after the first 2, because I don't think Jalen Moreau's a first round pick. Let me say that. I don't think any of these guys after that are gonna be like
Fair.
this is like the backup draft, right? Tyler Shook's a backup. I'm like, come on, bro. He's a backup. He's not a starter. Same kind of way with Jackson Dart. Like maybe he starts, and then maybe you go with Jalen Moreau. But like if you go like Tyler Shook or Will Howard, or even like I would say like any of those guys and expect them to be like starters, I think you're kind of tripping on
Yeah.
yourself. But yeah, so I think like just this list. I mean, I don't know how the Raiders list is going to be. I mean, the Raiders probably have Quinn Ewers higher. They might have Will Howard higher, but I kind of feel like this is like how it's going to go. I feel like this is how these guys going to get drafted. I still think Moreau's going to go before Dart. I just have a feeling. Maybe I might be wrong, but I got a feeling on that. But yeah, so that's kind of the situation that with that. So what do you think about that?
I mean, I think for me, like I hate myself for it because just because it's so chalk at this point. I do have Dart like QB3 in this class. Milrow, when I watched him on tape, like I thought for sure he was going to be my QB3, and then he just the Senior Bowl and the Combine combined just killed him for me. Like, or not, shouldn't say killed him for me, but the fact that I'm like, man, you just didn't do enough to me to like in a close QB3 battle to give yourself the edge over that. But I definitely see the potential that you're talking about. I like Shook a lot too. I might be a little bit higher on him than you are, just because I love the arm talent. But obviously, there's a lot of risk in there, and I'm a fan of Howard's game too. And then from there, I got pretty much the same. I'd probably go McCord, Gabriel, Ewers. By the way, McCord from Ohio State on there.
I said it already. See, I told you I was about to say something.
I like it. Hey, it's technically not wrong. It's just not right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So with this one, I don't know. I just don't feel like the Raiders draft the quarterback.
Yeah.
I just don't feel like it's happened.
Yeah. I feel like Milrow would make the most sense because he is the biggest project. And if you're gonna have somebody sit behind 2 years that could like really use to sit for 2 years, no offense to Jalen Milrow, but he does need a lot of work mechanically, then he's kind of the guy to do it. And again, like you said, as far as like ceiling, he's probably got the highest. He's probably also just got the lowest floor.
Yeah. It's not exciting. It's not an exciting draft class. I just don't. No. I just don't. Yeah, it's just when I was doing the list, that's when I was really like, "Whoa, man,
it's not that good." The fact that I'm sitting here, like, the fact that there's like 4 guys at QB3, like that you could like flip and interchange, that's usually not a good sign. And the fact that like, I don't even think Shador is a great QB2. Like if I had him, I think when I ranked him against like last year's class, I think I had Cam Ward QB4, and then I had Shador just ahead of Penix at like, I guess what would be QB7 at that stage. So kind of let you know where I'm
at. Are you like touching the mic, Matt? Is that
yeah, my bad.
You can't touch it, bro. That's
my bad.
Yeah, you can't touch it, man.
It go out.
No, it doesn't go out. It just makes that noise. Like your mic is so good that when you're touching it, it's like
gotcha.
Yeah, you can't touch it, dog. That's what it is.
It's just natural. My hand just
it's in the comments, bro. He's like whose mic is that, man? So yeah. All right. He asked me how you took Show over Howard. Seems wild to me. What's the reason? Just talent, really. I mean, if I'm going to take a guy, I take the more talented guy. I guess he's bigger. I mean, he's the same size, bigger arm. He can move a little bit better than Howard, in my opinion. It's more just the arm talent, and I think he's a little more accurate too. I think he's more accurate. Yeah. It's not that Show's like my problem with Show is that he can't handle pressure. Like he just I guess that would be the difference between him and Howard. But like with the arm talent for the NFL is not a question. Like that's like if you're gonna hit on like a later pick, you want that type of like what I would say high level type of player. So that's why I took Howard over Shook. And trust me, I had Will Howard at 4 at first, and I sat there and I looked at it. I was like, the go prospects here, Marcus. Like, would you really take Will Howard 4th out of all these guys? Like, if you had to, and that's when I started. That's why I moved him down a couple spots, because like it really was like when I got to the list, it's more about like, who's the better prospect?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it is what it is. You know what I mean? So
that one's a tough one for me too, because I like both guys a lot too. I like what they bring to the table, and I think if you watch like the full body of work from last season only, like it shook.
Mhm.
But when you factor in the fact that he's in college for 7 years, has injuries, then I might start leaning towards Howard. But yeah, it is like I said. There's 4 guys that you could sell me on at QB3 in this year's class, which not great.
Yeah.
Normally like a few guys that can like really stamp that spot for you.
Yeah, it's underwhelming quarterback class. That's what we have is talk of Tyler Shook being a first round pick. Like last year, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. This wouldn't be a talk. We're having that conversation because like people need quarterbacks, right?
Yeah.
And and it's like when you have those quarterbacks, man, and they're not like really that great, we're gonna push them into the first round. Like this is the most Davis Webb ass draft with quarterbacks, anything that I've ever seen. Like that's what I think about. Like Davis Webb was getting pushed in the first round, and he ended up going in the 5th. You know what I mean? So it's just
Spencer Rattler last year.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
This QB class does feel a lot like I think it was 2022, where it was like where Desmond Ridder and Kenny Pickett, where we thought and Malik Willis, where we thought there would be a lot more like top picks that at quarterback, and only one went in the first round. I could see something like that happening this year.
Okay, perfect. All right, let's get some questions here. We'll move on. That's this one. Will Johnson over Armand Membu, or do you prefer Sanders at 6?
I mean, I've been tooting the Will Johnson horn for a while now. I feel like Membu's kind of picked up a lot of steam for me lately, so I might lean that route. But either one of those 2 guys, I would be pretty happy with.
Yeah,
at 6. Sanders, especially after extending Geno, like that's the thing with Shedeur is, and I think we've talked about this, like he's the opposite of Jalen Milroe, where he has the high floor, low ceiling. Like he's like, of all the quarterbacks in this year's draft class, like he's the guy where I'm like, I don't really like, if he sits and waits, like, okay, maybe his arm gets stronger a little bit, but like I don't know what that's gonna do for him as much. Like he's pretty much, he to me is the one guy where you're like, that what you see is what you're gonna get. I don't think you're gonna get much upside. So like if you're talking about having a guy sit for 2 years, I don't know if that makes the most sense with Shedeur. I'd almost rather see them go with that plan and go with the later pick in Milroe than take Shedeur at 6.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, out of those guys, I'd probably take Membu because I just think he's probably the best value there. Out of those, even though like when I watched Membu, I think I feel a little different about him. Like I think he's like he's gonna be either really good or he's just gonna be like not that good. I kind of feel like there's not a there's a little bit boomer bust to me with him a little bit. So we'll see though. But yeah, it's a little bit of a mixture of both. But I take Membu just based on value on that because I just think Will Johnson's just a little like
there's question there, and the problem is like I feel like there have been more questions like now, like as this guy's gone on, when he should have been answering them. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, I feel it. Bro. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and it sucks because I like the guy's film a lot, but again, stuff's popped up in the past. We got more information, and it hasn't been good for him.
Yeah. All right, let's go. Let's go defense. Let's go back and forth. Let's mix it up here. So, you start with your three tech, 4 eye tech.
Yeah. So basically, looking at like guys lining up over the guard. If that's makes it a little bit simpler, but obviously at the top, Mason Graham, talked about him a lot. Maybe he ends up sliding to 6. And Raiders could could go second year in a row, get the best player available, I think that would be obviously a huge pickup for him. I'd love that D line with him, Wilkins, and Crosby and Kuntz. Just got to figure out who's going to play nose. Nolan, I feel like he's kind of probably not in range for the Raiders just because he's probably going to be like a mid to late first round pick. So, and not really a need. So I don't really see him coming there, but I do like his game a lot. Harmon's an interesting one because you could sell me on that. You might be able to play Harmon at nose because he's so big, strong, and big and strong against the run. And then on top of it, he's got pass rush upside too. So he could be a sneaky target. But again, I think he's probably going to be a mid first round pick. So unless they trade back, it would have to be there. Tyreek has no size, more of a 3-tech. Alexander's a pure 3-tech. Sanders 3-tech. Daniel Walker. Now we're getting into like third round guys. Daniel Walker has the size that should be a nose. He just doesn't have the effort and the pad level and the base. So 3 things obviously working against him. And then Omar Norman-Lott would be he's an interesting guy for me in this draft class. I think he's got more potential, but I saw something that he's got like a knee injury that teams might be concerned about that got maybe flagged, I want to say, at the combine. So that'd be an interesting one. Turner, I'm lower on Turner than a lot of other people seem to be, but I do get the potential and the upside with him. And then Elijah Roberts, again, probably more of like your defensive end, your odd front 4-eye technique than a guy that I could really see as a true option for the Raiders.
Yeah, I mean, I like this list. I like Darius Alexander. I think he's a pretty damn good player.
Yeah,
Texas A&M their whole D line is just crazy.
You can literally write the same scouting report for all of them. Like great traits, underproduced.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Like it's just it is. They're legit, just like a bunch of guys, just a bunch of monsters. Like when I was watching Scranton, I was like, man, that's like who is this guy?
Dude.
Oh, Scourton.
Yeah, you said that last time too. You're good.
Scourton. When I was watching him, number 11 from Texas A&M, you know what I mean? Like I was like, yo, that dude's pretty damn good too, man. Like where is he going? Like is he coming out? Like I was like, I'm pretty impressed. And same thing with South Carolina. TJ Sanders is really good. Deion Walker, if you watch him against Ole Miss, he is a top 10 pick. And then of course you watch him against other games, he's probably like a 3rd, 4th round overall. Because against Ole Miss, man, was he dominant in that game? He was all over Jackson Dart. Like that's why Jackson Dart didn't play well. Deion Walker was killing those guards and centers. So yeah, I think he has like more potential to be great than what he really showed this year. Because like if you watch that game, that's like what you would hope to get from him in the NFL. Like if he just played like that all the time. But yeah, dude, it's I do like the defensive tackle class overall.
It is pretty damn good. I mean, with Deion Walker too, like if you go back and watch like his 2023 tape, you'd like it a little bit better. But the issue with me and why he slid, why he's no longer DT2 and obviously far from it, is because what the issues that I had with Deion going into this season like got worse. And like the fact that like there were plays where like you're talking about where he just looks physically dominant and then he just disappears and starts getting his ass kicked with like one-on-one blocks and like his pad level starts rising. And I'm like, is that a conditioning issue or what? Because, and at the same time, if that's the issue, like, buddy, you had millions of dollars on the line and you couldn't get in shape, and it was that big, that simple. But yeah, he's an interesting one. He's definitely a guy like if you can get the 2023 version of him or like the Kentucky or the Ole Miss version of him, you're gonna get a damn good player and unique talent. But there's no guarantee you're gonna get that. And this past season, there was more of the latter than there was of the highs of him.
Yeah, I feel that, man. I don't see any questions here. So let's keep it moving. Running backs. All right, so running backs. I mean, this one wasn't too hard, but it got a little hard at there. I think I spelled Quinshawn Jenkins wrong too, right? So, yeah, I did that. I did that. Let me fix that before I do.
It's Judkins, not Jenkins.
Yeah, I'm bad at
Judkins.
I'm terrible at this, dog. I'm hilarious. You just gotta love it, man. You just gotta love it, dog. You know what I mean? Just yeah. This is what happens. I do this shit, but it's funny. All right, so here we go. It's like as soon as I saw it, I spelled that dude's name wrong. All right. Kids. Esther Jetty, Omarion Hampton, Cherry Henderson, Caleb Johnson, Dylan Sampson, Cam Scatterbo, Devin Neal, DJ Giddens, and Bay Shul Thuthen, or something like that. So if I'm saying that
I
wrong,
think that was
actually, I
Florida.
copied and pasted that name. I made sure to get that name
Okay.
right, dude. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
made sure to get that name. I made sure to do that one right. So, Marcus Johnson Memorial Spelling Bee coming up.
That'd be a shorts contest. It'd be one round.
It's awful, man. It's just awful. I know there's some other mess ups here. You guys just can't wait. Just keep this going. All right. So I like this class though. This is hard as hell.
By the way, you got 3 E's at the end of Tennessee.
I do. Oh shit! Look, this is
Tennessee.
See that? See, this is what we do here, dude. I got this all messed up. All right, here we go. But that's cool. We're good. We're good. But like I said, I really like this group. This group, they get it done. They really do. They really get it done. And like, it's just really hard to do because like, and that's what I got to like with Cam Scatterbo. Like, you know, is he really better than Dylan Sampson in the NFL? Like, and that's why I kept pushing him down and like pushing him down and doing those type of things. It ended up where I was like, he's at 7 here. When like maybe when I was starting the year and going into this, it's like I would have had him higher, like just starting, just starting this draft process. It would have been way higher. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like it just didn't end up that way. So
Yeah. He feels like another guy that's lost a lot of steam since like bowl season ended and since we've gotten away from the field a little bit, just because I don't think he's as athletic as like a lot of these other dudes. Like, I mean, Henderson's freak. Judkins is freak too. And like you said, Sampson is too. Johnson, I guess, underperformed at the combine, but his tape's really clean. So yeah.
Yeah, and then some of the other guys, I mean, you look at the options, like I thought DJ Giddens, the more I watched him, the more I liked him. He just can't catch. So I mean, he had 5 drops, and like every time you watch a film, it's bad. He can't catch. And then you know, from the fast dude from Virginia Tech, so you know, Bayshul Tootin. He's actually a great zone runner. Like he is actually a great zone runner. He can catch. He just doesn't have like a lot of what I would say make your miss ability in the open field. He's more just a straight line fast guy. But like if you get him, you know, if Shanahan got him, he could turn him into Raheem Mostert real easily. And he's just so fast on this. So that's why I liked him. He said, where you got Jade on Blue? I probably have Jade on Blue like 11. It's just Blue fumbles like crazy.
Yeah. I mean, so does Tootin.
Yeah, Tootin does, but like,
yeah, but yeah,
Tootin's just bigger.
The speed that, yeah,
he's bigger.
Blue's got speed, but
yeah. It was tough. I'll tell you, this is tough, man. RJ, I'm missing like RJ Harvey. Where's RJ Harvey? Like, I graded him, and I was like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I did not think I would have Scatterbo at 7 going into this. Like, I did not, but I just ended up with this. Yeah. So, yeah. What are your thoughts overall on that?
I mean, I think, like you said, this was a tough running back classic rank. I mean, you put up 10 guys on there. Obviously, made my feelings known about Genty at 6. But at the end of the day, like if the Raiders walked away with any of these dudes at running back, I'd be pretty happy because they're all damn good players. Yeah, the only one I'd have like a little bit of concerns about is Tootin just because of the fumbling. But again, like this running back class it's loaded. Like you said, coming up with 10 guys, I don't envy you. It's got a lot of talent in it for sure.
Yeah, it was tough, man. It was tough as hell. But you know, we'll be all right. We'll be all right with that. You know, we'll make it happen. So if, like I said, if they get any of these guys,
yeah,
I'll be super happy, to be honest. Like I wouldn't be upset with them drafting any of these guys on this list. Yeah. You know, I was just saying a little surprised I didn't have Blue on the list. I am too, actually. Like this is saying like Damian Martinez. Like I was like, I mean,
he's really good too.
Yeah. I mean, like, because the thing is with Bayshul, he's just such a great zone runner. Like he is great at that it makes me kind of. That's why I was like, if the Raiders drafted him, I know Chip Kelly would like it. He might be one of the better backs in his league because he's so fast and he is so can do the one cut. You know, he's a sleeper to me. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, so people are mad at me when I have an RJ Harvey in there. And RG Harvey's like 5'7" too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna take the. I tell you, at 10 was the hardest, right? It was just like, but I'm gonna take the really fast guy who I know who has great vision, and if I know if I put him in a great zone system, he's gonna produce for me. Like, and he can catch too. He can run routes. Yeah, he can play, man. I really like him. So one of my favorites there. All right. Let's see any questions. I missed that. Somebody, people are asking like why about RJ Harvey? Like RJ Harvey's really good too. But I just think for like value, like I just don't, you know, he's over some of these other guys. Like I just couldn't do it. And the same thing with like Jadon Blue. Like Jadon Blue was really tough for me because I really like Jadon Blue too. But I feel like these other guys are there. Like Ollie Gordon. I almost put Ollie Gordon at 10.
See, I just can't do it with Ollie Gordon. The I don't know if you ever if you saw this. Did you see his combine workout and when they were doing the like bag drill where you pick the hole?
Yeah.
And he just ran straight, like they like separate, right? Like they separate to pick the hole. He just ran straight through it where they were not telling him to go. Like the vision, just not for me. But
yeah,
the dude is massive. Someone's going to take a chance on that dude that can move like that at 230 pounds. Like he's not going to be fun to tackle. That's for sure.
Yeah. You don't think Ashton's usage in college is going to be a factor in the NFL? Not at first.
Yeah, maybe not initially, but I think it'll eventually come down. That's another reason why I'm not a huge fan of taking him at 6.
Yeah, man.
Scatterbo's kind of the same way too. Scatterbo's got a ton of carries, ton of mileage on him.
Yeah, it was just like it was just the 4.65 for me, and that's why he's falling. I'll tell you, like we don't talk about these measurements, but he went out there, he showed he's like I'm a run, right, and you were like, oh well, 4th round. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it sucks, but that's what the NFL does. We kind of ignore it sometimes. But that's what they do. They're like, oh, he's great film. He's guys bounce it off of, runs that 4.65, and they're like, ooh. Well, could you do that? And then we start questioning it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
does it translate and all that? Yeah,
does it translate? You know what I mean? That type of shit. You know what I mean? That's what happens. What happened to Ollie Gordon? I don't know. I mean, I heard somebody say that he is Oklahoma State must be a really fun school because Justin Blackman is bad. Ollie Gordon fell into it. I guess it must be a fun school. I mean,
I've heard. Yeah, they have a lot of fun down there.
They be having fun at Oklahoma State. Will Wilson be starting over Kuntz? Wilson's numbers were all better in year 2. What are the chances he develops into a better than average starting end? What are your thoughts on that, Matt?
He's not starting over Malcolm Kuntz. We can put that to bed right now. I think Tyree Wilson gets a bad rap, but he's not starting over Malcolm Kuntz.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, like this is going to be the big year for Tyree. Heading into his 3rd season, I kind of feel like he's in the Cleveland Farrell development plan, where like he'll probably be a solid player for his entire career. Cleveland's built out a 6-year career at this stage. And I kind of feel like that's the same trajectory as Tyree, where he's never going to live up to the top 10 pick, but he'll be a decent player for you, decent rotational end for you. He's just, I don't know. Unless we see a big step from him this past season, I'm not going to hold my breath that he's going to be a real difference maker, especially with Kuntz being back. And then them re-signing Adam Butler, who's going to take those pass rush snaps on 3rd down. I don't know what Tyree Wilson's role looks like in this year, and I think that's part of the reason why I saw something about him maybe getting traded this weekend. Traded on Tuesday, so and I think that's part of it. It's like 1, it's a regime that didn't draft him, and then 2, like I don't know what role it is, and the fact that we're talking about a guy heading into a pivotal year 3, and we're sitting here like trying to find him some snaps, trying to hunt him some snaps, not a great sign. If you can flip him for something, I can see that happening.
Yeah, I don't know, Tyree, man, you're in trouble. I mean, to play devil's advocate, I mean, Pete Carroll is a computer. Like maybe he just comes out and he outplays,
and he fits Pete Carroll's mold. He fits Pete Carroll's mold at the end. Like Pete Carroll likes those big base ends, and that's what he is. But who are you taking snaps away from? Because It's not Crosby. It's not Kuntz. Kuntz is healthy. He's playing. Like, it's not Wilkins. He can't play nose. I don't think you re-sign Adam Butler if you plan on playing Tyree in that backup defensive line spots rotating on third downs. Like, so
yeah. All right. Let's keep this moving here. So let's do the next one. Let's do edge here. Edge. Here we go.
So yeah, I will say this year's edge class, like, I mean, Abdul Carter's obviously a pretty damn good player, and I think he obviously will have a pretty high floor, high ceiling, I should say, in the NFL. But there isn't a ton of top end talent in this year. I think there's more of that second, third round that you can find a lot of guys that you really like. Like, I like Mike Green, but would he be edge 2 for me? And even like last year's class, no. Shemar Stewart, kind of the same thing as that as edge 3 in this year. I mean, I'm sure everyone knows, production is very much lacking, but does have some pretty damn impressive traits. Mykel Williams, I wish I could have seen Mykel without the ankle injuries this past year, because I get the idea of him where, like, he's like the big dude who can move a little bit and be a force against the run. But I felt like this past season, like, I just wanted more from him, and I think him missing, a handful of games had a big factor into that. Pierce really underperformed this past season. Still waiting for him to put it all together, but definitely a high end athlete that, if you can think you can get the most out of him, would be a great pass rusher for you. Scorton, which Marcus dove into, his boy Scranton.
Nick Scranton.
Also, I love that you just stopped doing the colleges after 5. That's Scorton again. I feel like Scorton played out of position. Like, when I saw he transferred to Texas A&M, I was like, oh, good. Maybe they'll play him as like more of like the 4-eye technique and like maybe more like a base end. And then they didn't. They just kept him at outside backer, and they put him at like 285. I'm like, well, that's not exactly what you want to do. So I don't know. I feel like he could be a better pro than he was in college, which again seems to be the common theme with these Texas A&M defensive linemen. But yeah, Tui Malau. This is where, like, or I should actually say probably around like Pierce is where this edge class gets really interesting to me, because I think Tui Malau is a good edge 7. Where, like, at the very least, you're getting a good run defender, and you're getting a guy who's a decent bull rusher. He also has this like uncanny ability to bat passes at the line of scrimmage. I don't know what it is, but the dude, like, just constantly is knocking down balls and like read screens and everything. It's interesting that he's like uniquely good at that. Princely, done on the channel before. I'm really high on him. I like his game. I think he has the potential to be a complete player. He's a dude where if he falls to the 3rd round, because again, I'm higher than other people seem to be. So if he is available in the 3rd round, I would love taking a flyer on that guy. Landon Jackson, another base end, tested better than I think a lot of people expected, myself included. That might earn him some more love in this class and might have him slide up the board. And then Donovan Ezeraiku, getting some 1st round love. I can't get on board that much, but probably the most natural pass rusher in this year's draft class, just with his bend, his pass rush moves, his arsenal. Like, when he gets after the quarterback, it just looks kind of easy for him, and just, again, gifted and natural. My question with him is, like, how is he going to be able to play on 1st and 2nd down and play the run? What I will say is, at the Senior Bowl, he did it pretty well and did a pretty good job of setting the edge. I also don't know if he's like, I think he's a good or a decent athlete. I don't know if he's an elite athlete, and he's undersized. So I'm like, that's where I get him at 10, where I'm like, you really get away with what you've been getting away with in college, and you're not like super twitchy, not super great athlete. Like, you're just kind of good or a good athlete, but again, just a natural pass rusher who's got some insane bend for sure. Yeah.
Okay, so let's get some of these questions here. I got some questions. Get our faces back up here, man. And then will Al Davis take Shemar Stewart at 6?
Yes, that is an Al Davis pick. Height, weight, speed, baby.
Some people are mean to him online, man. Some dude said he can't play football. I'm like, damn, bro.
I tell you what sold it for me, like, or one of the things where I'm like, this dude's different. Is he came to the Senior Bowl and weighed, I want to say like 280 or something close to that, and then like a month later was at the combine and was down to like 255, 260. I'm like, Jesus, dude, that just tells me you're just built different. But again,
Yeah.
Texas A&M, I don't know what it was this past year, but a lot of guys who had plenty of potential and not much production.
Yeah.
Even Scorton was more productive at Purdue.
See, yeah, that's crazy, man. He's just killed, man. They'd be killing him, dog. I was like, yo, guys. I mean, he can play football, man. He's out there, man. Like, damn. All right. Are Femi and Walker listed as off ball then?
So Femi is edge. He just missed. I think he was literally edge 11 for me.
Okay.
So, and then Walker, yes, I put him as off ball linebacker, which, okay, if you want to argue what position he plays, he's a hybrid. To me, he's a hybrid, and that just the linebacker position fits his description better, and it gives us more opportunity to talk about more guys at the end of the day.
That's true. So. All right, man. We're at 40 minutes. I'm like, damn, we don't even need this. We'll get to these questions at the end. Let's get to these positions. So, wide receiver. I know some people are gonna be pissed about mine 2 and 3, but that's fine. But Travis Hunter, Matthew Golden, McMillan, Egbuka, Jack Beck, Jalen Royals, Kyle Williams, Jalen Noel, Jaden Higgins, Elick Manor. So yeah. So I'll go through these. I mean, I take Golden over McMillan just because I think Golden is underrated. I not that he's underrated. I just people the way he's talked about just because he came out of nowhere is weird because he reminds me of like who do he reminds me of? I'm gonna keep this real. I'm trying to think of the wide receiver here. I don't want to go too crazy with it, so I'm not gonna go with who he reminds me of, but I really like how he can separate. He wins outside. He makes plays. He does yak, and people talk about they don't see the 4.2 down on film. There's certain games you could see it, and you can see how quick he is in and out of his breaks. I think he has a chance to be maybe the best wide receiver in this draft, just because he's a little slept on though, and people don't want to go there with it. But that's just my thought process. That's why I like him over T-Mac, because I think T-Mac has the ability to become like that T. Higgins type of guy. But when you're at that position and you really can't separate like that, you have to do that. He said no Luther Burden. And I just kind of realized I don't have Luther Burden in here. But to be honest, like nah, like
I'm not a fan.
To be honest, I just it feels fine to me. I just don't like because when I look at it with Luther Burden and when I watch him, like I think Burden he doesn't separate well. He is like a slot receiver, and he just doesn't. He's not really like into the game either. It's like weird, and then you have to give him free releases, and he's like kind of a bigger player too. So it's kind of like that talent is just kind of weird to me. I don't know. To be honest, because I would literally take Jalen Royals over him. I take Kyle Williams. I mean, wow. I really honestly take all these guys.
Okay.
To be honest. So yeah, because I was thinking when I put this list together, like I didn't even think about it like because to be honest, like I was like, this is good. This is great. I like it because like Jalen Royals is really slept on. Jalen Royals is damn good.
Yeah,
that's a damn good receiver. I really like him. Kyle Williams, he grew on me a lot. I thought Jalen Noel is a really good receiver too. Jaden Higgins, I think, is slept on a little bit. I think he separates better than people think. It's just he separates. You got to move him around. Like he's not an X. He's a tall Z. So you got to find him like ways to get him open, right? Because he's not gonna always win outside one-on-one, but he can. He has a pretty good release. But if you put him inside, like he's gonna eat. Like he's big and he can got some slot receiver skills. So he's more of a tall Z to me. And then I like Elick Manor too as well. I think he slept on because he didn't have a quarterback. I mean, his film is basically useless. His film is just him just running great routes and the ball going over his head. Yeah. You know what I mean? But go ahead.
Yeah. I was gonna say he's really enticing to me. I've liked his game since I watched him against Colorado in 2023 when he like took over in that second half, had like 200 yards and beat Travis Hunter like a handful of times. It was so yeah. He's one guy that kind of had my eye on that I like in this wide receiver class.
Yeah, I mean, I said it's funny. I just did this list together and I put Luther Burden in, and I'm like, yeah, that's right. I feel like I did the
Huh?
right thing here. Yeah, because I mean,
Okay.
because Jack Beck is slept. I mean, Jack Beck is really good too. Like he's pretty
No
damn
Trey
good.
Harris.
No Trey Harris either. No, no, not yet. Not better than Elick. There's just so many.
Okay.
This is what I'm saying. Like the wide receivers class is really good too, but like I went Jaden Higgins, and Trey Harris. Like you just didn't get a lot of what I would say the routes. You know what I mean? Because like
Mhm.
I literally graded all these guys out. So like when I was grading them, I just went with the highest graded guys I have, and that's it. You know what I mean? So
Damn. Okay. Okay. Nice. Also, McMillan's is AN.
okay, all right. Shit that, man.
You got Ted Roller right though. You got the hard one right.
All right. Here we go. Let's see some of these questions. Like he did distinguish himself enough at the combine. Like, no, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I should put him in. Like, it's one of those things. Like, he's just like, what does he really do really well? Like, people can't answer that question for you. It's just he is like he was supposed to
Yeah.
be up there, but he doesn't do anything like really well. Like, he doesn't separate well. He's more like he's built like an outside player and he moves like one, but he doesn't like win outside. So you have to play him in the slot, and then you never watch him like win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, you know what I'm saying. So I did
Loves
watch.
doing
I,
that.
wa- I literally watched. I realized the people who I really fully watched, like you did, Matt, was the wide receivers. I watched Horton. I watched Nick Nash. I watched all these guys. I think they're going to take some in the sixth
Yeah.
round, so I want to prepare like Ricky White's. There's a lot of depth with the wide receiver classes. That's what I'm saying. So, but
Yeah.
somebody's probably going to take Luther Burden before some of those guys, but we'll see in the NFL. That's what I'll say about that.
Yeah.
But I think Jack Beck is probably the most slept on guy in this draft. Though. Beck
Okay.
catches everything. He gets a great release. He's huge. Great player. All right, let's go to we did 3 tech. We're at linebacker, right? We're linebacker.
We do nose too if you want.
Oh yeah,
Either way,
we gotta do nose. Let's do nose. We'll talk about
yeah.
the nose
So
here.
kept it to just 5, but yeah, nose at the top, Kenneth Grant. If you're watching that, if you were paying attention to the D tackle spots and were wondering where he's at, that's where I kind of think he is. I think he can play 3 tech too. He's got some versatility. I just think he'd be like at his best at nose. I like him a lot as a run defender. I think as a pass rusher, he's more potential, but I think you have something to work with. Collins is one of my favorite guys this draft class. Again, a little bit more of a projection at nose because he played more like 3 tech, more 4-eye at Texas this past season and over his career. But I think he can do it and put on some weight at the combine. Jordan Phillips, we did recently. If you haven't checked that episode out, again, he's one of my guys in this year's draft class. I don't know if you can find a much better guy against double teams this year. Joshua Farmer, another guy, again, more of a projection to nose, but got super good traits. I think Daniel Jeremiah actually has him as like a top 50 player, which means he could go higher than a lot of people are expecting because DJ has a pretty good network in the NFL that, and I think he uses that to base his rankings off of. And then Jamari Caldwell, I think he's a solid player. I don't think a lot of people overrate him. He's and it's really what it stems down to me is him against double teams. Like he'll have highlight plays where like he'll split both blockers and end up making the tackle. He'll also get his ass kicked on a lot of plays, and he'll also get his ass kicked one-on-one sometimes. So the consistency to me for what you're looking for from a nose tackle, where you just want that guy that just parks himself in the A gaps and doesn't move from there. That's where I kind of get a little bit skeptical. But again, you can get a good amount of highs, and he has some like impressive movement skills to potentially like become an even better pass rusher in the pros. He's kind of like Jordan Phillips in that regard. I just like them in the opposite order than everyone else seems to be. But again, good amount of noses for a very niche position this year because this is not all of them. There's definitely some guys that can in rounds 5 and 6 that 5, 6, and 7 that could fill in there.
Okay. Yeah, I really like Alfred Collins. Alfred Collins is the type of guy that when you're watching him on film, he just pops off like right away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he takes over them. He has this play against ASU where he just like when the fourth down, like, he just like dominates the whole play. Like I'm a huge fan of his. Like I really hope the Raiders because he lost a lot of weight at the combine. No, he's 335.
No, he put on weight.
He put on weight.
He put on weight. Yeah.
He was somebody else. Like I think it was maybe Jordan Phillips with the 312. I think that's what I'm thinking.
Mm,
But
yeah.
Collins, that dude is a stud. I really like his game. I really like what he can do. And Kenneth Grant's a monster. I haven't watched Farmer or Caldwell, so I don't want to get too
Yeah.
stuck on them too much. But yeah, I mean, if the Raiders go nose, he usually goes like veteran at nose for the most part. But it's
Yeah. I mean, right now they got what? Leaky Fotu. That's the only one, the only nose they have, and not a great option. So I feel like they could go young. To me, like I think I talked about that on the show. If Farmer's there in the 4th or 5th round, like that's the guy you want to get. Like that's like you could get a day one starter if you draft him. You just don't expect him to rush the passer. Just don't expect him to be productive as a pass rusher. But I legitimately I like that guy that much where you could get a day 3 steal and an immediate starter if you draft him and put him at nose.
Okay. All right, cool. Tackle. So let's see what names I can get wrong here on this one. So here's tackle list. Now I'm not gonna act like I'm the awesome tackle guy with this class because I really ran through these guys in last night. So but I kind of looked at the stats and looked around a little bit to kind of put this list together. Like Belton, I don't know if he's athletic as Connerly is, but he's a better pass protector than Connerly is overall. I thought he had a really great year pass protection. Kelvin Banks, we'll talk about in depth here a little bit. I think Banks is just he's a monster in the run game, right? I think he's a pretty consistent pass protector, but he doesn't have the feet to be consistent in the NFL. I believe. I think he's gonna have trouble with speed rushers. Is what I'm trying to say with Kelvin Banks.
Gotcha.
But he is a monster with the run game. Like he just destroys people. Now the guy for me that's really weird in this class is Josh Simmons. Josh Simmons is athletic as hell. And because that's the thing. So we talk about the Mimbu's rise here, right? I think Josh Simmons, it wouldn't even be a question. He would be the first tackle if he'd get hurt. Because he's the way he moves, man. He moves he moves almost better than Mimbu, right? And I spelled Mimbu wrong, which good thing you didn't notice. So he just moves just so damn well, and I really feel like it made me want to put him over Mimbu just because I think Mimbu is just so much of a project. That's why I would take Will Campbell. That's why Will Campbell won, because I just think he's just a little bit too much of a project for me to be he's the best tackle in this draft. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's just how I feel. I think Campbell is the best tackle. He's the cleanest. He just got to worry about the arms, right? Because the arms gonna bother you. So yeah. So that's most of the class. Ozzy Trivolo is 6'8".
He's a big dude.
Ursary is an athletic freak too. Charles Grant, he's pretty athletic. I mean, I really like Grant at the Senior Bowl, and Logan Brown's a pretty damn good player too. But I'm interested in Trapilo, probably it's Trapilo, Ozzy Trapilo. He just athleticism is a little interesting with me, but he's 6'8". He's a huge dude. That's a big ass tackle.
Yeah. No, I think you might be onto something with Simmons. If he had finished the year and didn't have the knee injury, he probably could have easily been OT1, especially in a down offensive tackle class. And I love what you're saying about the movement skills. My question is, or my concern would be, does he still have that post knee? Because it wasn't just a torn ACL. I think it was patellar. It was a legit, pretty serious knee injury where you're
wow.
If that's your strength, that's now a little bit. All right, it's now a little bit more proceed with caution, which granted teams get more access to medical records than we do. So maybe they know a little bit better and maybe we are in for a surprise on draft night. But yeah, that's the one thing that gives me concern about him is that was your strength with your athleticism. And now you have a new knee, but Belton's a dude who intrigues me. I think he could be a little bit better of a guard. But he's massive dude. And like you said, had pretty good track record in pass protection. So, yeah, it's an interesting tackle class too. I think again, common theme with this year's draft class that like second tier, those like second round guys, like you can get some good value and you can get some solid players in that group.
Yeah, for sure, dude. All right. Yeah, because well, we've got kind of answered this, but I have Campbell over Mimbu. The top two tackles
See,
drafted last year. Well, last year, who's top two tackles drafted last
dude, my head's still spinning from this year. Who were they? Damn it, I should know this. 24.
Because you're missing
Joe Alt, that's right. Joe Alt and JC Latham. I like both those dudes a lot. I mean, I think both those dudes. Oh, and Olu Fashanu. Probably all three would probably be OT1 in this year's class.
Yeah. There's no tackle like this draft.
And Fuaga, but I would put Fuaga ahead of Membu.
Not a Membu. Maybe yeah. I'll put Campbell ahead of Fuaga for sure.
Yeah.
But like, not JC. Not like I was a huge Latham fan.
Latham was a monster. That guy was a lot of fun.
Was he good in the NFL? I don't even know.
I think he had a solid year, but he was also switching from right to left.
Yeah. I mean, because talk about the tackles, it kind of just point to point why they should, resign Miller, because it's just not the classes and overall. It's just not that sexy. Let's say that. That's it. All right, linebacker. What we got?
So yeah, starting at the top, Jalen Walker obviously plays edge a little bit too, or plays edge a lot too. So kind of get my comp for him is Kyle Van Noy. Like, and when I'm going there is like more early career, like Patriots Kyle Van Noy, where like they used him as that hybrid type of defender. Jahad Campbell, you could make the argument that kind of fits that same role too. I just don't think Jahad Campbell's like has as many like pass rush moves that he can win with. Like he wins as a pass rusher because he's just fast as hell and athletic as hell, versus being like a pure versus like having like a lot of moves, where I think Walker actually has a few good moves. Bossa, I seem to be way higher on him than everyone else is. I think he can be a complete linebacker in the NFL. Schwessinger, we've done recently. Again, high level athlete, impressive instincts against the run for how little playing time he has. And he's been gaining weight in the offseason, which is what he needed. One of his biggest things that he needed to do. Chris Paul Jr. from Ole Miss, another guy who I think is a really good coverage linebacker at the very least. I have questions about him at the run, and he has short arms, so that's kind of the double or the cautionary tale, I guess, if you will, with him. Knight and Stutzman, both really good run defenders. Done both of them on the channel as well. Knight, I think, is a little more instinctual than Stutzman, which is why I have him higher. Whereas Stutzman's just kind of like dude who he's fun to watch because he will play with his hair on fire, and if you just blitz him, he will run through the offensive line and run through a brick wall to make the tackle. Barrett Carter, I actually thought I was going to be higher on him this year's draft class than I ended up being, just because I liked him a lot better last year than I did this year. I feel like he's kind of lost a lot of buzz, but has a chance to be a complete linebacker. Maybe he surprises some people, but I view him as more of like that 4th, 5th round category. Kaiser, I think, can be a decent run defender. Actually tested better than I thought he would. And then Lindenberg's another guy I'm a little bit higher on than everyone else seems to be. But if you can't get Demetrius Knight or Danny Stutzman on day 2, I like Lindenberg as a day 3 guy to take over that Robert Spillane role as that good run defending linebacker, but definitely very limited in coverage.
Yeah, for sure. We didn't answer Baby Shug's second question.
Oh, whoops.
Was if Arch Manning is as good as advertised, would you trade up to get him when he comes out? I mean, his film is pretty impressive. That's what I would say. But I know it's not an Arch Manning draft. You haven't watched Arch Manning, but
I've watched just a little bit. But the problem with Arch Manning is he's going to be like, it's kind of like when Trevor Lawrence came out a few years ago. Like there's so much hype around him that the price tag to get up is going to be astronomical, depending on where you're at. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You having Bass over as Schwarzenegger is very interesting. I'm gonna tell you that. That's definitely.
Yeah, I know I'm the only one, but yeah, and they're like a tenth of a point away off each other. But yeah, I just, to me, Boss is the more sure thing, I guess. Whereas Schlesinger is a little bit more of a gamble. But either way, like if it came down, if we're sitting in the second round and they pick Schlesinger over Bossa, I'm not gonna be crying about it. I'll be pretty happy with that pick. To put it
Okay.
that way.
Okay.
So
Who are the best coverage linebackers?
Campbell, Schlesinger, Paul,
Okay.
Carter after that.
Carter after that. Okay.
I guess Bossa too, but I was thinking I kind of skipped over him. But yeah, Campbell, Schlesinger, Paul, Bossa in that
Okay.
order.
Okay. All right. They also want to know, you like Jalen Walker at 6, luxury pick as a utility player. Doesn't have a super defined role.
I mean, he'd be your starting linebacker. He'd be your starting linebacker next to Landon Roberts. Kind of funny because you could argue he has a similar skill set as Devin White, but obviously a little bit more higher end. I don't hate that, but again, I like it's like a matter of, if you're asking me, if you're telling me Membu and either Membu or Mason Graham are on the board, I'm going with the one with either Graham or Membu over Walker, but he wouldn't be a bad pick at 6 for sure, because you can get away with the positional value of like what he can do in the to affect the pass game as a pass rusher to justify taking him top 10.
Yeah. People ask, are we gonna go Walker? I mean, it's an option, man.
Yeah.
And we're going live draft day for sure. All right, let's get to we got 2 more. We got interior. Actually got 3 more. So let's get through these quick. So let's get corner. What we got?
Corner
Cornerback.
start
ahead, Matt.
corners. I was gonna say corner 1, same as wide receiver 1. Don't think there's much of a option or much debate there. Like I said, I like Will Johnson a lot. Jade Barron, I like him too, but I just like Johnson's high end a little bit more than Barron's. And obviously both those guys, the end stands for nickel. So who I can think might be able to play some nickel. Azrae Thomas, this is kind of where I started to get into the mind of like, what is Pete Carroll going to want? And I think Azrae with his profile fits pretty well. And his tape last year, like he just shut the side of the field down. Like he is the shutdown corner that like I think the Raiders have been looking for a while. Amos is another guy who's like on the taller side, doesn't have quite like the arm length, but kind of fits that Pete Carroll profile. Harrison, the reason why I have him a little bit lower is I do like Harrison's game a lot, but he's not the Pete Carroll outside corner. So that's kind of why I have him down there. Porter, another one of my guys. I wanted to push him up higher, but I was like, I got to tone this in a little bit. Again, I just don't know how many 6'3" dudes with 33 and 5/8 inch or 33 over 33-inch arms that run a 4.3 flat there are and have impressive ball skills. And then Revel, done him before too. And again, another Pete Carroll corner, Kobe Bryant, and more of nickel. Jacob Parrish is a sneaky guy in this draft class. I know you like him a lot too, and you might be even higher than I am on him. But he's a guy who's played outside, but dude, he is feisty as hell, man. He loves to come up and play the run, so I think he can make a seamless transition at nickel.
Yeah. I really like Jacob Parrish. Like, I'm a little offended you have Kobe Bryant over him. I got a little bit.
I should have made the switch. I don't know. Yeah.
See, they said no Benjamin Morrison with you too. No Benjamin Morrison.
No Benjamin Morrison. No, the injury concern.
His film this year was not good either.
Yeah, he'd be 11 probably. Yeah,
his film is not that good. let's keep it real. It's just not. It's just not the greatest film in the world for me. So, but yeah, I like that. I like the corner class though, because getting Parrish like in the later rounds or something like that is pretty good. You'll feel good about that. Like especially if you get him like around, let's say, like the 3rd round or something like that, which probably most of those corners would be gone. If you get him, I think you're pretty set at slot. I just think that because he tackles well, he blitzes, he has good games against Jalen Noel in the slot. Like it wasn't like he was you didn't get a chance to see it on film, but
yeah,
I really like what he could do. He's a pretty damn good player in my opinion. So
yeah.
All right, let's get to safety here, and then we'll try to get these questions when we get out of here. Safety. So safety, I would Xavier Watts. I went Watts 1, then Malachi Starks, and then Andrew Makuba, Kevin Winston Jr., Nick Eamon Billy Bowman, Jonas Sanker, Jalen Reed, RJ Mickens, and then Latham Ransom. But Xavier Watts is not going to go one. He's not. He's not. But I think Xavier Watts is going to. I think Pete Carroll's going to love Xavier Watts. I think that he's a super option at 37. I think that that's a sneaky draft pick for me too. Like it's one of those where it's just like a great players on the board, and they
Yeah.
skip all the positions over it, and they take Xavier Watts just because Watts is a playmaker. You could talk about his tackling a little bit. I think he does tackle like he's a solid tackler. He's not a I wouldn't say he's a great tackler. He's not like a dominant tackler, but he's a good tackler. He makes tackles out there. But he's a playmaker. You could play him in the box still a little bit too because he has the size for it. You could move him around as a free safety. You could actually come and play in the slot too. A lot of his interceptions came in slot coverage. Like I think 2 of them I saw in film were in slot coverage. Like so he can cover, right? It's not. That's what I really like about him is you can be versatile. He's like a what people envision Jeremy Chin to be like. I feel like that's what he can do.
Okay.
He can come play inside. He could play in the slide. He could play free safety. He could play whatever safety you want him to do. That's why I really like him. Malachi Starks film is interesting because he's a better safety than when they have him come down and cover. I don't think he did as well there, but as a safety playing and kind of roaming, he's probably one of the better players. I think because if you play him 1-on-1, like you see him get beat a lot on film. That's the thing I have with Starks. But as a safety and a tackler, like and all those things, like he's a solid player. Like I know he's gonna be a good NFL player. It's just you might see him if you put him in certain coverages, he might get beat. Bakuba is a stud. That's a pick that I kind of ignored his side. He's just so good. He's just a damn stud. Like he's all over the field, all over the damn field. He's like if you want to put him at free safety and you didn't try to put him in the box, he and let him roam and make plays and use his eyes. Awesome. And then same way with Kevin Winston Jr. is a stud. Eamon Yori is a corner, but he's 220 pounds, so he has to play safety. That's basically how I describe him. He's a corner. That's fine. And then Billy Bowman's good. Jonas Sanker, Reed, RJ Mickens. Yeah, it's a good safety class. I like this class. But yeah, it's my feeling. Eamon Yori is a corner. He's a cornerback playing at 220 pounds. And you can't do that. You can't play a 220-pound guy at corner. You got to play safety.
Yeah. So. I'm assuming you're saying that because he wants no part of tackling.
He's a corner, and he out of all these guys, he's probably the best coverage guy.
Ooh, okay.
If I'm keeping it real, we're talking about safeties here, right? Like these guys, tackling's important. That's like
that's the lifeblood of the safety position.
It's tackling. You're the last guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're the last guy before in between a 60-yard run and a 10-yard run. So I need you to be able to tackle. But even Yori, he can cover anybody. It's just that's why I say he's a 220-pound corner.
Gotcha.
So, but he's a good player. He's a good player though. Good player. Yeah. All right. And then we got interior O-line here. The last one, which is super interesting here.
Ooh.
Yeah. So Gray Zabel, and then Donovan Jackson, Wyatt Millam, Tate Rutledge, Tyler Booker, which people really like Tyler Booker, but we'll talk about that a little bit. Marcus Membo, Miles Frazier, Emory Jones Jr., and Joe Huber and Jalen Rivers, who I watched really quickly. So yeah. I kind of put this together. I should have just did 5. Like when I saw you did 5 those guys, but I already put this together. I was like, you know what? I should have 5 guards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Donovan Jackson's. I really like Donovan Jackson because he played tackle. He's so versatile. Like he would be if he's like I'm gonna play tackle in the NFL. I think he could do it, and it really showed how good his feet are. In my opinion, like. You have to have the feet to play tackle, and he was going against some of the better in the playoffs. He was going against Jace Pierce and some of the better pass rushers in this draft. He's a really good player. I really like Wyatt Millam too. He's a really good guard as well. West Virginia just pumps those out. Tate Rutledge, he's a really good player too from Georgia. Tyler Booker, I think Rutledge. Booker. Tate Ratledge. I said it's Ratledge. My bad. All right, Tyler Booker, Tate Ratledge, Tyler Booker. Marcus Mimbo, Frazier, Emory Jones Jr. But Mimbo I really like too. I think Booker is I just saw him get beat too much. I just don't like watching guys get beat. Like I'm sorry. Like he's getting beat a lot on film. But he's like he'll either drive you into the ground and embarrass you, or you could beat him. Right? I think
Yeah.
that's it's like either one. But he's a good pass protector though. But I think Ratledge is a better pass protector than him. Ratledge is a great pass protector. Like that's the best thing he does. He's not even like a great run blocker in my opinion, but he pass protects so well that like he just kind of overcomes it. Same thing with like Miles Frazier too. I think Miles Frazier pass protects pretty well. But yeah, that's pretty much with the guards. Like it's yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts, Matt?
Yeah, I mean Ratlet. I'm not gonna say he'd be like my guard one. It'd probably be probably Will Campbell actually, but Zabel would definitely be up there too. But I like Ratledge a lot because I think he can be a plug and play starter. Like I like his game a lot. And Booker, I think you're right. Like he tested terribly at the combine, which I'm not terribly concerned about how athletic my guards are, but that does kind of like shine some light into what you're talking about with him in pass protection. Like he is an absolute like old school mauler in the run game, but probably doesn't give you much in the, or could be an issue as a pass protector. But yeah, and then Rivers is an interesting guy to me because I just love the fact that like he would literally play like tackle one series and the next move to guard. The fact that he has like that type of versatility and athleticism is pretty unique to me. He's an interesting guy on like probably day 3 that would be worth taking a look on. So
yeah,
but
yeah. I really like Miles Frazier. I think Miles Frazier is the type of player you could kind of do the same thing you can with Ratledge, where just because there's great pass protectors that you can get away with that a little bit, and then you can mix it up in the run game and fix their technique a little bit. But yeah, guys. Let's get some questions to get out of here. Is Makuba too small? A little bit.
maybe.
I mean,
Maybe.
you can't really play Bakuba in the box. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's why I say you gotta. I mean, you can play him a slot, right? And you want to mix it up, but you gotta as a free safety. Like he's like a pure free safety. We don't see that a lot more, but that's what he is. But he just does it so damn well. And that's Texas didn't put it in the box. He didn't put it. They do better.
I remember watching him like a couple of years ago when he was at Clemson, and I really liked his game. And then he kind of fell off a cliff, and then this kind of revived his career last year at Texas. But yeah, I like him a lot as a free safety.
Yeah. He said, "Glad I don't have Castro. He's too slow." I appreciate that, man. See the other weird questions. No, I really feel like I'm missing something. What are your guys' thoughts on Nolan? I hear top DT. Kind of went over him a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I mean, I like him as a 3 tech. I'm not putting him over Mason Graham. I mean, if you watch the Mason Graham video, you can hear me glaze Mason pretty hard. I love that guy's game. I do like Walter Nolan a lot. He reminds me a lot of Ed Oliver coming out of Houston, where I don't know if his technique sometimes is terrible, but he's so damn big, strong, and like fast that like he's just hard to block. Like he used to be disruptive, but he's definitely. I mean, he's DT2 for me. So to put it in perspective.
All right. How big is the drop off from Mimbu to the best 3rd round O lineman available?
3rd round, or is they talking 3rd offensive tackle?
You said 3rd round. It's a drop off. It's a drop off. It's just not great there. It's not great there. Was it Spytech did it? He likes small school T's. Grant in the 3rd. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like you can take Charles Grant in the 3rd. It's like it's a little bit like taking Brandon Parker, but it's all right. In my opinion, Morrison and Watts both on the what?
Buys?
Yeah, NDDBs.
Bison.
Which one you taking? I don't know. I'm taking Watts. I'm a big Watts guy.
I was gonna say I got crap for not having Morrison in my top 10, and you had Watts number 1 safety, so I feel like that answers that question.
Exactly. Any positions you're surprised with terms of depth? Any you felt were overrated in terms of depth? That's a good question. For me, I think the O-line class, like overall, I think the depth is not that like excellent. I feel like the guards, like I feel like I want to take those guys in the 3rd round. So it wasn't that in terms of depth. I think wide receiver is a little overrated in terms of
that's the one I was gonna go with. I'm like, I feel like we're forcing it with wide receivers. Even in the 2nd round, I feel like this is just. I think we just need to admit this is not a good wide receiver class.
It isn't. It isn't. Yeah. It's just a weak offensive class overall. Like, because I mean, quarterbacks. Super underwhelming. I think that was the most depressing part of this list for me, Matt, was me putting the quarterbacks together. I was like, oh, man, Geno Smith is the starter for sure. That's what I was thinking when I was doing this, man. But
Aiden O'Connell has a chance to survive, is what you're saying?
yeah, I don't. I think he might be the backup, bro. Because
It's not out of the question at all.
it's not that bad of an idea. It's not that bad of an idea. I mean, it's 2 games of Aiden O'Connell. Is not. I think every Raiders fan would not be that upset if Aiden O'Connell came and played 2 games. It's just when he starts playing 10, that's when we get into these debates and people get angry. You know? But that's my thoughts on that. All right, guys. Appreciate it. Baby Shook, appreciate the love. He said, I know Tyree Wilson was going to be a dud on draft night when he walked on stage. Yeah, knee knocker syndrome. So, but we'll take
it. I like that. He did have an injured foot that might have had something to do with it, but I'll be honest. When they took Tyree, I liked Tyree as like a late first round pick. I think I had him like 20th on our board at Bleacher Report, and obviously he went 7th. Like I was like, this guy is a much better idea than he is football player. But the idea of him was pretty enticing. The dude with over 35-inch arms.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, dude. All right. That's it, guys. We're out of here. We went a little long, but that's all right. So hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. Hope you guys enjoy that. I hope you guys all my misspellings. Hope you guys enjoyed that as well. It is what it is, man. It's like I'm trying. I mean, my ADHD brain sometimes it just sees something different than when I put it out. You know what I mean? So
I still can't get over McMillan because you spelled Tetaroa fine and then you screwed up McMillan. I was like looking at that. I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's Aon. I even like double checked before calling you out. I'm like, dude.
Yeah. It's all good. All right, guys. We're out of here. Peace.